So I did my presentation on the life of Marquis de Lafayette. Today we see Lafayette in the smash hit musical Hamilton. He is only portrayed in the first act and is played by rapper/actor David Diggs. The way he is portrayed only shines very little light on what he actually did, which is pretty sad. His early life. Lafayette was born on September 6, 1757. His real name, this is a mouthful, Marie-Joseph Paul Yves Rocher Joubert zu Monsieur Marquis de Lafayette.
Wow.
That was a full sentence. His father died before he was 2, and his mother died when he was 12. A few weeks after her death, his grandfather died as well. Now an orphan, he studied to become an officer at the Musketeers and military household, having come from a long line of military officers. He joined the Royal French Army on April 9, 1771, at the age of 14. He married his wife, Genuis, 2 years later, who died 27 years before he would. Journey to America. Lafayette was introduced to America when he was at a dinner on August 8, 1775, when the Duke of, Gloucester talked about our struggling revolution. Lafayette planned to travel to the colonies, but decided not to tell his family, and instead told his friend Comte de, don't know how to pronounce that, again, don't take French, who introduced him to Baron Johann de Kalb, who was also seeking travel to America. The king heard of their plan, I spelled that wrong, and forbid Lafayette's journey. So the young soon-to-be general disguised himself as a woman and snuck aboard a ship. He landed in Charleston, South Carolina on June 13th, 1777. American Revolution. Once he arrived, Congress had a long debate on if he should become a general and what they should pay him. But all that stopped when Lafayette said he would fight as a volunteer. He became a general on July 31st. Later that summer, he met and became friends with George Washington. Their friendship lasted the rest of Washington's life. Lafayette was completely loyal to Washington, which earned him many promotions. During the Battle of Brandywine, Lafayette was a member of Washington's staff. Unfortunately, the battle was lost to the British, like most of the early battles. Yet Lafayette remained loyal to Washington. His loyalty earned him to be commissioned to lead an expedition to Canada. Lafayette had traveled to meet the troops in Rhode Island, finding insufficient troops, which led him to tell Congress to cancel the entire expedition. While he was there, the British attacked and later retreated with heavy losses. Lafayette went to France seeking their help, but was put under house arrest for his earlier disobedience of the king, until forgiven. Once that was over, the king sent Lafayette back to America with Rochambeau to help fight. Life in France. Once our American patriot returned home, he was honored for his unusual help to us. He rejoined the French army and started trade with Thomas Jefferson, who offered him a governing job, to which he refused. He and his wife started a family with 3 daughters and 1 son, who he named George Washington. During the French Revolution, he drafted the Bill of Rights of Men for France. He never fully supported Napoleon, which earned him and his family a place in jail for many years before the Americans rescued him. When Washington died, Napoleon did not invite Lafayette to his memorial. Later life. Lafayette's wife had died in 1807, but he never remarried. In 1824, he came back to America, visiting Fayetteville, North Carolina, the city that had been named after him. He was one of the key figures in the July Revolution of 1830. The same year, he was offered dictatorship, but refused the position. He died of pneumonia on May 20th, 1834. death. Once Lafayette had died, King Louis Philippe ordered his funeral to be a military service so the public could not attend, which resulted in protesting. At his funeral, his son sprinkled American soil on his grave at Picpus Cemetery in Paris. President Jackson ordered that they have the same type of memorial for Lafayette as they did for Washington years before. Both houses of Congress were draped in all black, and President John Quincy Adams gave a 3-hour eulogy. After World War I, they put an American flag at his grave. In 2002, Lafayette was given American citizenship 168 years after his death.
Wow.